Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Um, hmm, hmm. Well, I done it again. Um, Now this is a thing. I know what I did, but I don't know how to undo it. Okay. Hmm. Well, if I could just figure out how to move that over to the other place. Um, Fudge. Okay. All right. All right. So this is not major, right? It's just that hmm. Okay, I've never done that before. All right, let me work this out, you guys. I'm so sorry. It has to do with the slides. Of course it's the slides. Okay, I know what. I'll just do it like I did last time, right? And I'll try to work this out later. Okay, so give me just a second and I will work it out. Gosh, I hope I can. Hmm. Um. Mm. Okay. All right. Um. That's a lot of hemming and hawing, ain't it? All right. So I got that worked out. Move this over there. But that's okay. This is how we learn, right? This is how we learn. We have to make the occasional mistake. And one thing's for sure, I don't think I'm going to do this again. Uh, oh, okay. Is that it? Let me see. Let me see. Ah, okay. Let me see how that looks. Let me see how that looks. All right, not bad. Not bad. All right. So I'm doing it like I did last time, essentially. A little different, but I can make it work. All right. So I'm good. Disaster averted. Ah, New City Gardener, thank you so much for being first. Hello, Ivy here. Vonzola Adams, Isby, Karen Williams, Val Rich, and a host of friends and others. You guys, I was listening to Lady Sussex, George, and Charles earlier. What a great show. I'm gonna put the link up top because well, you know how we do. I'm gonna put the link up top. And let me see. I still got like 30 minutes of it left to watch, but they discussed Justify, Joy, and I tell you, the Justify that really touched the nerve. It really hit home. Where they were discussing how they keep asking Meghan to explain herself. Explain why you're not using your own house, your own kitchen. And I started thinking about this past election where they kept, especially, and I'm so disappointed, but Black men with this thing about uh, Kamala needs to explain herself. A lifetime of experience, a lifetime of hard work. I mean, this is what gaslighting is because there is plenty footage out there of Meghan in a kitchen talking food, discussing food, preparing food, and still they're trying to gaslight those who know better. And even worse, they're trying to recruit people that don't really know Meghan so well into waging this war of words where they are demanding that Meghan explain herself. It really did touch a nerve. It really did. Because as a Black person, as an African American, I have found myself so many times in a situation where I was obliged to explain myself. And you all know from the um, the Royal Sussex over the years, there's been some rather snarky comments directed toward me and why do I do this and why are you doing that and so on and so forth. And it's not constructive criticism as much as it is a demand for me to explain myself. And there's a difference. There's a difference. When it's constructive, you just know that the person that is saying this to you cares. Um, but when it's a demand of justification, where they want you to explain yourself in a way that puts you on the spot and they want to make you seem foolish, or they want you to appear as someone who's being sly and slick and manipulative, right? There's a difference. So I was like, wow, this is really interesting. It's what made the made it into like a 3 hour show. And I really enjoyed the topic. And I do recommend that when you have the time, that you check it out. So I'm going to put the link so that you can, check it out for yourself. And let me put that there. Okay. Anyway, that is the link. And then I'm going to post it up top. Very, very interesting topic. I was like, wow, this one kind of snuck up on me. Cause that song is stuck in my head. I get weak. I get weak when I'm with you. Okay. And okay, pin to the top. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. And like I said, it's one of those things that you you experience it so many times in life And let me just say for the record that when Hillary Clinton was running for president, you had this bumbling lunatic that was saying every manner of crazy thing day after day. But who had to explain herself? Hillary. Hillary had to explain herself, even though she was the more qualified candidate. That did not matter. There's a particular way that women are not treated, they are handled when they are in positions of power and authority. And of course, you can multiply that bad treatment uh, if you include a woman of color. And you can take it even further if it is a woman of African descent, because Black women, um, I can't even articulate it right now, but it just seems like it ignites some very, very passionate feelings um, for and against. And the ones that are usually against, well, they all seem to have a lot in common, from their appearance to their ideology, geography, um, and so on. So, okay, let's get on with it. Hey, Mary H. Oh, just finished reading Spare. Very cool. Great read and very enlightening. Esmeralda Dillon says, I stopped explaining after I stopped working on Wall Street and I opened my own firm. I love it. I haven't been happier. Here, here. Here, here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to catch that one. I will check it out. I know she has a channel. I haven't had a chance to watch it a lot, but I will check it out because. Oh, thank you, Lydia, for putting that up there. I didn't even see it. But I like Owen. I like Owen, and of course, I love Dr. Shola. So we'll have to check that out. Okay. All right, let's get on with it. Simone Black, thank you so much for being here. Carmen, Helen G, Heather Stroud, said Zakoy Farms, Donna Reese. Okay, so it's been 5 years, you guys. It has been 5 years. 5 years since Meghan, Harry, uh, Pula, Guy, Archie, they am I missing someone? They packed up and they moved. They left. That was their last day of royal duty, their official last day. And from there it was onward and upward. Now it was a rocky road from here to there. And there were a lot of lessons learned. There was a lot of trial and error, but we's here. We's here. And as we also learned during the last election, we ain't going back. We ain't going back. So green. I'd rather be seen green. Remember that from The Wiz? They had the song. There was gold, red, green. Well, anyway, the green. What a color of optimism, especially for the spring. It was March the 9th. And don't forget, they coordinated. If you notice where Harry's jacket is blowing open, you can see that the lining of his suit coat is green. Yes. And you know what? Meghan wore 3 capes that week. She wore this one, she wore the red one, and gosh, what was the other cape? It was the green, the red, and oh my goodness, I can't remember which was the other cape, but I believe she wore 3 capes that week. And when Meghan wears her cape, she means business. Do you understand what I'm saying? She means business. Not business, but business. Business. She was about to handle her business. Was it blue? Okay, what blue was that week? Uh oh gosh, it escapes me. Um so the red was for that formal occasion. The green was for the Commonwealth Day. And let me see. Meghan Markle revenge dressing, right? That was the video. Oh gosh, I cannot remember, but that's okay. I'll sort it out later. I just don't remember I thought it was 3 capes that weekend. There was the red, the green, and I cannot think of another one. Well, yeah, the Victoria Beckham, but it was not. It didn't have a cape. Didn't have a cape. Maybe it was only 2 capes. Maybe it was only 2 for that weekend. Yeah, maybe it was. I don't know. But either way, yeah, just 2 capes. You're right, just 2 capes. The next time she wore a cape that was the white coat when they went for the prayer service for the Commonwealth. That's when she wore the white cape. And then of course she wore the black cape for the Queen's funeral. So anyway, I kind of love that. I love that about Meghan popping those capes on. Good for her. Um, all right, and let's move on. So, thank you again for watching Royal Sussex. Don't forget to hit the like button, and if you haven't yet established a membership, memberships are a bargain at just $4.99. It goes a long way to support the channel. It helps to cover the things like the software needed, um, and so on. So again, $4.99 is the price of the membership. Of course, they have some that are more expensive, but if you're on a budget, if that's all you can afford, the price of a cup of coffee once a month, $4.99. That's not too much to ask. All right, moving on. Oh, I went too fast there. There we go. So Meghan posted a video today, and I'm going to share that one with you. And yeah, it was lovely. It was a lovely video. I like it. Just Meghan doing her thing. Nothing so spectacular, just Meghan in her element. Or in other words, um, Meghan just being herself. Yeah, that's it. Let me see here. Okay, that's the one. That is the one. Okay, there's a little very faint music in the background. And just to be cautious, I decided to lower the sound on that one just so that I don't get dinged for it. But very, very sweet. I wonder if that's the his and her palm tree in the background. Nice basin outside and repurposing. And I cannot wait to do that, to repurpose the as ever Meghan raspberry spread jar. Cannot wait to do that. Let's see if I can stop it there. There you go. As ever, raspberry spread. Cannot wait to do that one. Okay. Moving on, moving on. Let's go to the next slide. So, Meghan mentioned in the post, she says, a sweet pea Sunday. Happy weekend, friends. A sweet pea Sunday. Happy weekend, sweet friends. Friends, rather. And yes, 5 years since she walked out of Narnia wearing her, oh gosh, what was it? Was that a Wix? No. Is that Carolina Herrera? No. Um, oh, I forgot who was the designer for that one. But bye, y'all. Bye. We out of here. It was really a courageous thing to do. A lot of people like to downplay it because, let's face it, Harry and Meghan are from a world of privilege. And even though by American standards, Meghan wasn't exactly Poe, but she came from a working class background. Harry, of course, from the British royal family. But once you know his story, then you don't really see it so much as a privilege as much as it was a duty. Now, Harry would be the first one to say that it is a life of privilege and it has afforded him opportunities to use a platform that is not available to most people. And that is true. And but together, they went through a lot. And of course, if you think about that trip to New York where they were chased through the streets, just like his mother, or how about Meghan at the baby shower with some raging lunatic standing outside with a face mask on in 2019, even though the global pandemic was months and months away. That also was a pretty scary time. And then there is a mountain of threats that have been made against them that we will never see, that we will never know of, because that is something between them and the Met Police and any other agency, like the anti-terrorism agency, though, over there. There's been a lot. And as usual, when there is a woman of color or anyone of color, and in particular, someone of African descent, anybody who knows will tell you that the level of threats against the Obamas was off the charts. It was like something no one had ever seen before. And you could say the same thing for Meghan's presence in that family. So my point is, yes, there is levels of privilege, but it has not been easy. It has not been just a walk in the park. And somehow they have managed to make it through some of the rougher parts, and they are still committed to a life of service, which is inspiring as far as I'm concerned. By the way, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. Here's another couple of views here. This was, let me see, this was heading into the church. right? And this was coming out of Westminster. No, that was also walking into Westminster Abbey on the left. And on the right side, service is over. I'm not going to show any of the photos from inside of Westminster Abbey because those are a bit triggering, and we have seen those again and again. So I think it's better just to stay with these images on the outside where they were actually leaving. So the only one from the inside is while they're here at the door on their way out. And right there, the kids are there to greet Meghan with flowers. And of course, throughout the entire event, Meghan was very gracious and she smiled a lot. She maintained a certain level of dignity, which makes me very proud. As those commercials used to say, never let them see you sweat. And she certainly did not. She maintained a great deal of dignity. Harry, of course, not so much. Harry looked like he was ready to dive into the crowd. Harry seriously looked like he was ready to dive into the crowd. And if you don't know what that means, um, I'll explain it to you later. But like they say, don't make me dive in the crowd. And yeah, he was ready for whatever. And also, there's these very nice. They are on their way to Canada, and eventually they will settle in sunny California. 5 years, 5 years, March the 9th, 2020, there was already murmurings about some respiratory virus going around. Also, they had a rule about shaking hands. No one was supposed to shake hands because they weren't exactly sure how it was spread, right? It resembled the flu, but the mortality rate was so much greater. This is when I believe divine intervention comes to play because 2 years, for 2 years, there was really no big events for that family until the Queen died. For those 2 years, Meghan and Harry was the last sight of the family together. It was the last time that you had that level of pomp and circumstance, and then everything was shut down. And I cannot help but think that there was a higher power at play. There was a higher power at play, even though it was painful to watch. It's almost as though everything was the way it was supposed to be. No half in, no half out. Um, and Harry leaving that institution and considering what happened to Diana, those are some dangerous people. And we know what they're capable of. We know what they're capable of. But to protect his family, he's like, we're out of here. I believe Meghan would have stayed in the fight much longer um, because how could you leave him with those people? How could you just leave him with those people? That would not have been easy for her. So it was time to go. And sometimes God will do for us what we cannot do for ourselves. Sometimes it takes a higher calling, a higher authority to get you to where you're supposed to be. And this was definitely one of those situations. Uh, yeah. Oh, okay. I think this is the last I have of those. I can't really see ahead because I'm not able to look at those slides like I would normally do. Uh, oh, wait, can I? Oh, yeah, I can. I just open them up someplace else. All right, very good. So I'll take a look at a couple of your comments and then we'll move on to the next topic. Yes, Harry, he's ready to get a contract with one of the men's apparel agencies. He is ready for that. I really do believe Harry, he has a good posture, right? He has good posture. Physically, he can really fill out a suit. I think that he would be perfect for some kind of ad campaign. Now that's not going to happen anytime soon because I do believe that Harry and Meghan want to maintain a certain level of high standards because of their titles and position and such. However, have you guys noticed that people, especially the tabloids, why do they keep pushing this idea that Meghan needs to go back to acting? Why are they pushing this? Megan should be an actress. They actually even, these are some of the people that were saying that she was just a cable actress, a second-rate actress. Now you got so many of them saying, "Oh, she was quite good. She should consider going back to it." Seriously? But you all said um that she should just stay in the house, that she should try to maintain her privacy. Lay low. Now you're ready for her to go back on television or movies or something. I don't know why I keep hearing that, but I keep hearing it that she ought to go back to acting. Oh, yes, the American flag right there. I see it. Oh, you know what? That's not the American flag. That is, oh gosh, I don't know what country that is. Is it Malaysia or something? But no, that's not an American flag. I see it, but those are not the stars. I don't think so. Uh, yeah. I mean, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Okay, I believe that's Malaysia. It's either Malaysia or Liberia. Yeah, I think it's Malaysia or Liberia. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Okay, let's move on. But thank you for your comment. Uh, all right, so let's go to this one. Yeah, those are the Commonwealth flags. They do a presentation of the flags. I think it's like 53 of them, something like that. But yeah, those are all Commonwealth flags. Prince Harry continues a show of support for LA wildfire victims at charity concert for first responders. The sold out Rock for First Responders concert played Saturday night to a huge crowd at the Granada Theater. It was put on by the nonprofit 1805. The event donated a portion of the proceeds to Musi Cares to support musicians impacted by the recent fires. Proceeds from the event will also support the mental wellness of first responders in Los Angeles and Santa Barbara. So, is that Macy Gray? Um, well, I feel like I should know who some of those people are, but I ain't for sure. I ain't for sure. Okay. So, there we go. We felt that was very, very important to divide the funds between the sound of our first responders and musicians, said Kirsty Cavendish Weston Smith. Ooh, that's a long name. Kirsty Cavendish Weston Smith, co founder and CEO of 1805. During the VIP cocktail hour, Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry. Now, this article is from one of the local television stations, which I forgot to credit, but it's from a local television station. How did they put Harry first? Uh, how did Harry's name go first? The VIP cocktail hour, Duke of Sussex Prince Harry made an appearance and spent time talking to first responders. Once the event began, every seat was filled within the theater, and performers at the event included Kenny Loggins, Macy Gray, and Hootie and the Blowfish. Living in Santa Barbara County is a privilege, but paradise comes at a cost. Wildfires and other disasters are part of the price we must pay to live and work here, said Santa Barbara County Sheriff Bill Brown. During the show, a special announcement was made that 1805 will be collaborating with Blue Origin, an American space technology company. And it continues, it says a live auction was held for a guitar signed by the performing artist and Prince Harry. Oh, I love it. And sold for 9,000. The new owner of the guitar was able to move seats and head backstage to enjoy the rest of the show. Numerous first responders were able to leave their worries at the door and sing and dance the night away. The show ended with an encore from Hootie and the Blowfish with Toad the Wet Sprocket. Uh-huh. Uh, this story will be updated with more information and video Sunday. So, yes, Harry, who they just don't like so much in the United States, they're just not so into him, was a VIP guest at the event, right? As well as the fact that he and whoever the artist was, they were the only two that actually, it was, I guess it was several artists. Um, I guess he was the only non-artist though that signed the guitar. So there you go. I'm here for it. I love it. They have realized that they will never succeed in destroying Meghan. They know Meghan will become a billionaire with her lifestyle brand rather than acting. Yep. Nowadays, the real money is in production. That's where you make the real money, is in production, collaborations, and of course, you have to market some type of products. That is where the real money is. That is where you can have some sustainable wealth. For the Sussexes, it's not a vanity project in any way, or it is part of, especially for Meghan, this lifestyle is something that she believes in. It comes across as very sincere, no matter what those haters are saying. Um, it is what people want right now, and I'll share some more of that with you later. Also, she's just good at it. She's just good at it. She's very good at what she does, and she it makes her feel good. So with all of that happening, obviously this is her calling. Um, it continues where she left off some what 7, 8 years ago, and it's going to be a huge success. I have no doubt about it. It's going to be a huge success. Thank you for your comment. And let's take a few minutes to look at some images of Harry at the event. He had a very good time last night. Look at how relaxed and happy he is. He is in his element. He's a proud Californian. He's no different from anybody else who have come from the east and moved west to California to seek out their fortune, and that fortune is going to go a long way to keep Lily and Archie safe, to keep everyone in the family safe. Uh, it's an unfortunate necessity, but they need that money to ensure a very safe future. I'm going to say again, Harry is one of the few children of a head of state that does not have protection, paid protection. As the son of King Charles III, he should have the same level of protection as that person that he's married to. I'm going to be nice. That person that he's married to, that prosthetic horse from the Godfather movie, um, he should have the same level of protection, if not greater, that is offered to her. She's not in line for the throne, but he and his children, they are in line for the throne. He really, by right, you guys, I don't care whether he moved or not, he should not be paying for his protection. They won't even give him the option to pay for it. Um, they just say no. That's why I say those people are dangerous. They're very dangerous. You would leave someone vulnerable like that just because you've are in bed with the media. Shameful. Winston Jones, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you, as always, for watching Royal Sussex. A couple more? Yeah, a couple more. There are these images. I didn't know Harry was hitting the gym so hard. I mean, I knew he worked out, but when I saw those pictures from, um, oh, I think it was 2023 when I was looking for that California hat, I was like, wow, yeah, I can see he's been quite aggressive about going to the gym. Group shot. There we go. Group shot. Harry and the first responders. They should form a band. Ladies and gentlemen, Harry and the first responders. Now, what kind of music would they sing? I don't know. But yeah, they should start a band. Harry and the first responders. Yeah, take that, Hootie and the Blowfish. Yeah, Harry and the first responders. But yeah, I'm digging the sports coat he's wearing and the t-shirt and everything. Very cool. Harry always looks good in black though. And I believe this is the last of those photos. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, California, for taking such good care of the Sussexes. I love the way he just fits right in. Yeah, he fits right in. Okay, let's go on to something else. Like this one right here, Godmothers for Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. What? Let me take a look here before I continue. Uh, he took Oh yeah, I remember when William Shatner went up there. Oh, and I'm well, thank you so much, Shelly L. Blue Origins is Jeff Bezos' SpaceX. Oh, that's what they mentioned earlier. That was okay. Okay. Let me take a step back and look at that one. During the show, a special announcement was made that 1805 will be collaborating with Blue Origin, an American space technology company. Ah, good eye, Shelly L. And thank you so much for the super chat. Okay. Got it. Well, and Harry and Jeff Bezos' fiance, I forget her name, but they're the part of that whatever award that was, um, Legends of Aviation. So yeah, and you guys, there is that uh, before the technology community was a thing in California, Silicon Valley, and such. Howard Hughes, um, the defense contractors and aircraft manufacturers, a lot of those companies originated in California or were based in California. So, yeah, if it has to do with aviation, California plays a major role in that. So, um, it's a community out there of people that fly, people that engineer and design and such. So yeah, not not so surprising that that name would pop up like that. But yeah, I didn't even think about it. Thank you so much, Shelly L. Good eye. Good eye. I love it. I tell you, the Sussex Squad is a very informed group of people. Very informed. That's why we get on their nerves because we always have our receipts. So for Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, the little things are the thing. Meghan, or Meg to her friends, share her extra special relationship with the woman behind Godmothers Plus Books, her love, her family favorite way to spend a Saturday morning. There are a lot of activities you might expect to see Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, engaging in. Beekeeping, for one. If you've spent any time watching With Love, Meghan on Netflix, which was just renewed for season two, you know that's a hobby that she picked up pretty recently. You might also expect to find her writing her New York Times best-selling children's book, The Bench, was published in 2021. Gardening or entertaining. Oh my goodness, you guys remember when oh, ugh, is that true? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. SpaceX is not Jeff Bezos. Okay, wait a minute. Wait. Okay, yeah. So Blue Origins is Jeff Bezos. SpaceX is that yeah, okay. Okay, sorry about that. I saw that and I'm just like, wait, what a minute? Wait a minute. Yeah, Blue Origins is Jeff Bezos. SpaceX is that other guy. Remember when William called them out for spending money in space instead of spending the money elsewhere and all of that stuff he was talking about the environment. Remember that? That was awkward, right? That was awkward. So there you go. There's the bench. All right. I want to keep moving though because I'm getting a little bit behind in pace here. and we don't want to stay so late today. You might not expect to see her organizing her refrigerator, but it turns out the task is one of she finds a lot of pleasure in love. I'm sorry. I love it when it looks pretty organized, she says. By the way, this was an interview she had with that godmothers. She says, I love it when it looks pretty and organized, she says. And when there's a beautiful veggie board at the right eye level, so the kids feel enticed to grab that first, and they do. Now that's good. And that is something that everyone should do, is to put vegetables within reach as an alternative to those sugary sugary snack. I'm thinking sugar smack cereal, those sugary snacks that the kids really don't need. Um, Mostly she's looking for small, easy ways to make the world and the worlds of the people she loves a little more beautiful. When I see someone smile because of that small gesture I made, she says, there really is nothing better. Godmothers are three books that have shaped you. Oh, yeah, this is Godmothers asking her what three books shaped you. Whether you, oh gosh, I can barely see this, you guys. Hold on a second. I'll show you. There it is. Oh, yeah, I can barely see that. Oh, you know what? It looks better like this. Okay. Okay. What are the three books that have shaped you? Whether you related deeply to the characters, were consumed by the storytelling, or encountered truths that felt as though they were written just for you. And Megan says, our kids, ages 5 and 3, Archie and Lily, mean we're deep in the world of children's books. And may I just say, I absolutely love it. So many picture books offer insight and perspective that I wish I had exposure to as a child. Two current favorites. And there on the right, you can see those two current favorites. Oh, there we go. Yeah, those are the two current favorites. And there's so much more to the article, which I will share the link. Do I have the link? Oh, yeah, here it is. Yeah, there's so much more to the article. And I am going to share the link with you right now. Well, I was going to share it, but it looks like I don't have it anymore. Well, anyway, you can just go to hello, Ivy here. Do you know I hit the wrong thing just now? Oh man, I was doing good for about 5 minutes, but I hit the wrong thing. So let me go back to sharing the screen. Um, oh, geez, Louise. I was doing pretty good for a minute there. Oh, okay. There we go. That's not bad. See, I recovered quickly. But yeah, so those are the two books right there. The books are Rabbit Listened, The Rabbit Listened, and the other one is They all saw a cat. Yeah, the rabbit listened and they all saw a cat. Those are the other two books. So, um, yeah, those are the two books that Megan enjoys. Connie Bomber, thank you so much for joining us. All right, let's move on. Oh, you know what? I know where to. Oh, okay. I like that one. I'm wondering if there's a video from last night with Harry. So far, I don't see one. Okay, I see some video of people on the stage and everything, but I do not see a video with Harry. But I'm going to go back and take a look at and see if I can find some later. That I will do. I will see if I can find some later. All right, very well. Let's continue. So take a look here. There is Tracy Robbins and oh gosh, I think the lady with the teal color on, she's one of the co-owners of the Godmother bookstore. And I believe that is Kelly Zafin back there. And of course, Megan, the hostess with the mostest. Now, speaking of the most and too much, Rebecca English, Rebecca English. Sometimes we just really step into it, don't we? And in Rebecca English case, sometimes she step in and it almost takes an act of parliament to get her back out of it. Um, um, anyways, or at least somebody needs to call like the emergency services to help her get out of it. Um, I'm not even sure what that means. I'm going to behave myself. I'm not so certain what that means. Um, oh, there it is right there. I do have it. Okay, this is the link to Godmothers. If you want to look at the rest of that interview that Megan is in, that's it right there. And I am going to pin that to the top of the chat. Okay, that is the Godmother's interview. If you would like to finish that. And in the meantime, I will continue. Knew I still had that. So take a look there. Rebecca English. Now, you guys, you see what's going on here, don't you? Today seems as good as any day to share my woeful previous attempt to make cakes for the school bake sale. Rebecca, you such and such, so and so, forget you. Every attempt at making those cupcakes fail because you kept eating the batter. Also, I feel it's quite narcissistic to put a picture of yourself on a cupcake. P.S. I know you. P.S. I know you ate them all. I'm blocked, but feel free to tag her. Oh, Lord. Woo! Oh, Lord. Um, I guess this particular squatty is not a fan of oh, and as you can see, there are some pictures of her on top of the cupcakes. You see it? See the little bear looks just like her. Big paws and all. Looks just like her. Connie Balmer, thank you so much for the super sticker. And as always, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. But uh anyway, I think that she only put this up here because it's kind of like trying to troll the squatties, not to troll Megan, because you know Megan ain't paying no attention to her. But I think she's trying to troll the squatties. She's trying to troll us because when was the last time you saw her talk about anything that didn't have to do with the royal family or didn't have to do with Megan? But yes, I'm here for it. Oh boy, that tickled me. But I feel it's quite narcissistic to put a picture of yourself on a cupcake. Yeah, it is. Oh well. Uh, let's get back to something more relevant. Like for instance, Megan's honey raspberry something something cake. Oh man, that looks great. That looks great. And right here, so inspired by Meghan Markle's show, Carrie Price's wife, Angela, spent quality time with her kids baking donuts. Now, I love that. I love this article. It's from the Sport Skita. Meghan is mentioned in an article featured in a sports online magazine, Sports Skita. How about that? You have With Love Meghan even being mentioned in a sports magazine. Now, if you want to see the uh, TikTok video, take a look there on the right. You see the little gray box up there. It says by Angela Price, by Angela Price, BY Angela Price. See it up there? So if you want to see the TikTok video, you need only go to her TikTok to see it. But she posted a TikTok about her adventures in the kitchen and spending quality time with those adorable children. Um, so Carey Price and his wife Angela have been married for over a decade. The couple have two daughters, Liv and Millie, and a son named Lincoln. On Saturday, Angela Price shared a glimpse into a donut baking session she enjoyed with her children. Angela posted several Instagram stories. Oh, I guess it's Instagram, not TikTok. Okay, I guess it's Instagram. Angela posted several Instagram stories featuring a batch of homemade donuts. She made uh, she made homemade donuts. She made inspired by Meghan Markle's Netflix lifestyle series With Love, Meghan, which premiered on March the 4th. One of the stories showed Angela's son Lincoln holding up a sprinkled donut in front of his face, wearing space and dinosaur themed pajamas. So inspired by Meghan Markle's show on Netflix, made yummy donuts this morning, Angela wrote in the caption. Another showed Angela holding a bottle of Watkins Rainbow Sprinkles with a plate of baked donuts in the background. She mentioned using non artificial dye sprinkles for the donuts. Don't have dried flower petals yet, but I have these non artificial dyed sprinkles I picked up on my last is it Nature Santa something order. But yeah, so you see there, Megan is bringing families together, and a family that bakes together stays together. So there you go. With love, Megan is that. So you can see there on the right side, left side, these sprinkles. Oh, those donuts look delicious too. Those are the sprinkles that she used on the donuts, and they're on the right. So inspired by Megan. Yeah, you can see the caption below. And adorable Lincoln is holding that donut up to his eye and peering through the donut. And yes, you can see his space and dinosaur themed pajamas. I love that. This is a nice story. What do people have against feeling good and feeling happy and spending time with your family? What do they have against that? I'd like to know. Now, take a look here. Uh, Remember sacrifice of our family of nations. Charles III is trying to get everybody all buttered up for Commonwealth Day. He wants you to remember the sacrifice of the family of nations. He wants you to think about those who have sacrificed, like the Windrush people who came over to help rebuild the British economy after the Second World War. Post war Britain, which still was suffering from rations and trying to rebuild and such, they called upon the empire first for people to come and fight in the armed services. And then, second, please come over here and help us rebuild our economy. And how did they get thanked for it? Oh, sorry, sir, but I don't see any record of you ever coming over here. Yeah, I don't see any record of that. And on top of that, we're going to have to send you back to your nation of birth, which is so crazy because at the time, in this family of nations, you did not need a passport, if I'm correct. You didn't even need a passport. They wanted you to get on the Windrush, come over, and help us rebuild the economy. So, this whole thing about families of nations, is that how you treat your family? You deport them? You don't want to pay them the benefits that they're owed. You try to run the clock down and hope that they pass away before anything is made of it. How could someone have worked most of their adult life in a nation that they consider part of, and yet the Home Office, Bojo the Clown, and others, they decide, no, you're not one of us. You're just not one of us. That is some of the most evil, malicious thing I've ever seen. Kind of reminds me of what's happening here in these United States right now. where you have people that have worked and paid into the system, people who are green card holders and such. Now, all of a sudden, they have criminalized these people and made them feel unwelcome and began to deport some people without documentation and such. It's a mess. It's a mess. You all know how I am, and I do not like picking on migrants, immigrants, asylum seekers. I do not like that. Being undocumented is a misdemeanor. It is not a felony. They treat it like it's a felony, but it's a misdemeanor. Anytime a government turns against or tries to uh, turn the population against the outsiders, treat them as though they're intruders or home invaders or something, that's because the country is really in a state of decline. And the United States is declining. We've been in a constant state of decline. And the more we slip down that slope, the more they pick on the migrants. Politicians have been doing this for centuries. Don't give in to it. Don't give in to it. Um, the economy is suffering even more because those migrants, those immigrants, those undocumented and green card holders that we depended upon for things like housing construction and such, they're not going to work. They're not being deported, but they're afraid to show up to work. They don't want the hassle. So it's not helping the economy because they're doing jobs that nobody else wants to do. It's hurting the economy because they can't go to the jobs that nobody else wants to do. I tell you, nobody can screw you over like your own family, King Charles. Nobody can screw you over like your own family. Well, Helen G, I'm glad to know that because unfortunately there are so many people that look to that royal family as though they're the saviors and the future of the world instead of a antiquated feudal system that should not exist anymore. It'd be different if they used their platform to help people, but instead they are getting richer and their subjects are getting poorer. Well, I hope that's not the case, Marshar. I hope that's not the case. Anytime you can create that much hostility between two nations that are so dependent upon one another, um, Canada and Mexico, those are some of our biggest, if not the biggest, trade partners. Um, I've driven a car that was made in Canada. I've also driven a car that was made in Mexico. American cars that were made in Canada and Mexico. This has gotten so far out of hand, and and this is why a lot of people were upset about the way the president of Ukraine was treated. None of this stuff should be happening. None of it. And instead of getting distracted by other things, which is what they want us to do, we have to stay focused. We have to stay focused. But more importantly, everyone do take care of your mental health because these are some weird times, and just when we thought it was over, like a bad horror movie, the orange monster has come back. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, and what about West Virginia where all those people got fired? Did you see the lady from West Virginia who was saying that she voted for Trump 3 times and she just lost her job with the Internal Revenue Service? They are gonna depend more and more on AI for, uh, the IRS and other services. They're gonna use AI, and, I don't like that. I would rather have the human touch. I would rather be able to speak to someone, to reach out to someone, but talking to an AI when I have a issue is not cool. Okay, let's move on. So, King Charles buys the house next door to Camilla. Wilshire Boathold, um, yeah, Wilshire Boathold for £3 million to stop it being turned into a rowdy wedding venue. Now let's take a look at that. Yes, there are weddings that get out of hand, but Camilla's home in Wilshire is protected around the clock by the Royal Protection Officers. And also, they have built an office, a command post on her property at the taxpayer's expense. They have built a command post on her property. She's married to Charles, but she spends the bulk of her time at home in her residence that she owns. After the coronation, she didn't go back to what is the name of Charles' house? Um, she didn't go back there. She went to her house. He dropped her at her house and then he went home. Highgrove. That's it, Highgrove. So yeah, she doesn't spend a lot of time at Highgrove. She only spent enough time there to make sure that Harry's bedroom was turned into a dressing room. But other than that, she's at her house. I believe Charles purchased that house not to save her from any noise or overflow from a wedding. She purchased that house, or purchased that house for her children. That house is going to be part of a enlarged estate, right? He has just spent £3 million to enlarge Camilla's estate. And as easy as he pulled that £3 million out of his pocket, that's £3 million that could go to nurses for the NHS. That's £3 million that could go to the homeless. And of course, they released this story on the weekend because they assumed that nobody's really paying attention. Yeah, mission accomplished. But that home is for Camilla's children. It is not for any other reason. He is doing what he's been doing for the past, 40 years, and that is fattening up Camilla's bank account and helping to, I suppose, secure the future for Camilla's children. That's what he's doing. He's taken better care of Camilla's children and always has, really. He's taken better care of Camilla's children than he's taken care of his own. Now, as far as I know, Camilla only has a litter of 2, right? He's helping her with her litter, but he won't take care of his own children. What a swine. Um, check it out. Check out this mouth breather. This buffoon, I saw him on GB News, right? He went on GB News and said all of these negative, nasty things about Meghan's show. Um, he even implied that Netflix tried to hire him. He implied, actually, he just flat out said they were trying to recruit me, and I kind of knew what it was about. And I said no. Celebrity chef Jameson Stocks, critical of Meghan Markle's cooking show, wasn't invited to participate on Netflix series. Can you believe the New York Post called him out? The New York Post called him out. And they don't even like Meghan. But they actually said, that did not happen. Nobody was trying to hire you. I'm shocked. I am shocked. Celebrity chef Jameson Stocks, critical of Meghan Markle's cooking show, wasn't invited to participate on the Netflix series, sources say. Stocks claimed he turned down an offer from Netflix to work on Meghan Markle's new cooking series, With Love, Meghan, to avoid public scrutiny. He created something forced and fake. However, sources say, sources close to the production have told the Post that Stock was never approached to be a part of the series. Chef Jameson Stock was not invited in With Love, Meghan, and any claims to the contrary are incorrect. Now, New York Post is saying that somebody from Team Meghan called it out. And it must have been very convincing if that did indeed happen, because they decided to print an article about it. Jameson himself doesn't even know which show it was for. He noted he thinks it was for this show, the source continues, while cautioning against taking his assumption as fact. Stock spoke about the Duchess of Sussex show during a recent interview with GB News, sharing he was skeptical of signing onto the show and his thoughts on the first season, which dropped on Monday. He goes, duh. I was asked last year by Netflix if I wanted to consult on the lifestyle program. The Michelin star chef told the outlet they didn't go into much detail about who it was, but I already knew. I kind of knew it anyway, he added, implying that he knew they were asking about Meghan's show. He continued, I felt like she produced a really great program, which I was quite skeptical of, that I might get a little bit slammed for being a part of. And then it says, I didn't like the idea of me showing her how to, this is what really got on my nerves. I didn't like the idea of me showing her how to do something and then being forced, and then it being forced and faked. Now, okay, Meghan knows how to cook. Some of the biggest cooks on television are not chefs. They don't have Michelin stars. Rachel Ray, who Meghan actually appeared on her show before, Rachel Ray is not a chef. She's a cook. And she tells anybody, I cook. The way that Rachel Ray was discovered was at a supermarket, doing little classes at the supermarket, showing people how to cook. Take this, take that, put it together. You have a 20-minute meal for your family. That was it. Rachel Ray has had no formal training. She just cooks. Meghan just cooks. There's no formal training. It's not so difficult. If you have a passion for it, you'll do it. Referring to the production team that might be involved in making a show like Marco's Stock says, I imagine Netflix would have had 2 or 3 consultants, a stylist for her clothes, and give her ideas for the food. Okay, he got one of those right. Yeah, there would be a stylist, obviously, but we don't know that for sure. Meghan has style of her own. There would be someone for hair and makeup. I'm pretty sure of that. Why not? Netflix is paying for it. But for somebody giving her ideas, Meghan needs somebody to give her ideas. Meghan, a confessed foodie. Meghan, who loves food, who loves to cook, who has cooked on television several times. Meghan would have needed somebody to tell her what to cook. Meghan, who's always cooked for her friends and family, would need a consultant to say, here, cook this, here, cook that. How stupid can you be? He looks stupid. He's a mouth breathing Neanderthal. He's a troglodyte. If she is going to do something herself, she should do something herself. Netflix is obviously such a huge company. They're going to surround her with quality people to make her look good. At the end of the day, they're trying to chase the money. This is what he said on GB News, that they're going to try to surround her with great people. Meghan surrounds herself with great people. She doesn't need Netflix for that. As for what he thought of the 8-episode first season, which features Meghan's famous friends Mindy Kaling and her former Suits co-star Abigail Spencer, Stock said, I honestly thought it was terrible. He thought the show was terrible. That mouth breathing, okay, let me stop before I say the wrong thing. Everything, the music, he said the music is quite slow. He didn't even watch it. He didn't even watch it. The music is quite slow and quite lethargic. It's quite painful to watch. He went on, I think she should go back to acting. He suggests she's quite a good actress in real life or on the screen. People should stick to what they do best. So he's trying to say that Meghan is not only an actress on television, but in real life. He does look like he looks like a shipwrecked BG. He looks like one of the BG brothers went out on the ship and never came back. I almost expect him to hold up a soccer ball and say, Wilson, Wilson. He's an attention seeker. That's all he is. He is a celebrity chef and an attention seeker. He's jealous. Michael Steed, who used to do the show, used to produce or direct Anthony Bourdain, Michael Steed says um, Meghan Markle's skill in the kitchen are pretty spot on. He said she's not a chef and is definitely not meant to make it seem like she is, but there's just a love of cooking that is palpable. Steed also described the former suit star as friendly and praised her for creating a comfortable environment for everyone working on the show. Another crew member, at least they added this to the article. Another crew member said that Meghan was incredibly warm, approachable, and genuine. She made sure everyone felt included. From the Netflix executives to our director to our every PA on the set, the person said no one was left out. Markle and her husband, Prince Harry, okay, they're talking about the contract. I don't want to bother with that. But yeah, so the why what is this? The New York Post, they did not add anything other than what he said. I'm pretty sure that his appearance on GB News, I'm going to allege that he was paid for his appearance. And of course, because he's always on the make looking for some kind of fame, this mouth breathing troglodyte was just trying to get some attention. That's all. The stereotypical idiot is often portrayed with their mouths hanging open at all times. Hence, slack jawed yokel, this implication being that they are too unintelligent and lack the self awareness to close their mouth, and that they are then breathing through their mouth and not their nose, as would a civilized person. In other words, he's a mouth breather. He is a mouth breather. He doesn't have the intelligence to breathe through his nose. Or maybe there's other things in his nose besides oxygen. Must be something. I mean, he literally looks like somebody just brought a homeless person, a hobo, in from the street. He looks like a hobo. Yeah. It looks like they've already created a character on The Simpsons. It looks like he has his own Simpsons character. Well, he tried it, you guys. He tried it. That's all I can say is he tried it. But he's a little late. The show is already a success. Yeah, I guess that is kind of offensive to hobos and vagabonds. Daniel Martin says, I've been sharing all the love and beautiful plated food photos you all have been posting with Meghan, and she's so incredibly honored by all of it. Thank you all so, so much. It truly means a lot to her. And on that note, take a look here. On the left side, you can see, and these are just a few, you guys. Meghan also shared another reel that features everyday people using some of the inspiration from With Love Meghan to create dishes. So when you leave here, please make sure you spend a few minutes over on Instagram and make sure that you um, like or and share the post that she put up. Um, these are all featuring other people, not Meghan. And take a look on the right side. There's a little actually, I don't know whose kids these are, but it says, just finish With Love Meghan on Netflix, and I'm completely in love. Thank you, Meghan, for sharing tips to make each moment intentional and sweet. You helped turn this rainy day into something truly magical. And look at there, those kids made the rainbow fruit platter. You guys, this is a movement. Meghan is not just in people's hearts, but she's in their homes. She's in their moments. She's helping to make quality moments with families. She's given recommendations for healthy food alternatives for the children and for the adults. Um, that's why this show is going to be a big hit. It is a big hit, and it's only going to get bigger. It is only going to get bigger. So whatever that mouth breather said, whatever those lines that they fed him or that he made up himself, it doesn't matter. And by the way, you guys, let me see here. Oh, there's one more here. Let me see. This one says, I took a crack at the skillet pasta recipe from episode 1 of With Love, Meghan. I decided to swap out the water for beef bone broth. And I do have to say that added an extra savory layer and protein. Is 10 of 10. Would recommend. That looks like something that Daniel Martin shared. Okay. Holy moly, that looks incredible. Yum. And then take a look here. I love this, guys. I feel so good about this. Denise Dumfield Thomas says, I started watching With Love, Meghan on Netflix, and my girls are fascinated by all the little pretty details. It's such a nice, cozy show. A chill day at home, cross-stitching and watching more With Love, Meghan on Netflix. I was up late last night thinking about making focaccia. How about that? Don't you love this? I love it. And nourish your inner host with recipes and crafts from With Love, Meghan. So, guess what I got for you guys? Some people have been having an issue trying to find the recipes, but well, it was my intention to give you the link. Let me see if I still have it. Where is it? Oh, I had the link. With Love, Meghan. Okay, give me just a second here. Yeah, but the recipes are it's what am I trying to say? It is in the article. Oh, I found it. I found it. So I'm going to put the link up at the top. It's in that article. And I'll put the link on the community post. But there it is right there. All of the recipes for your convenience. I tell you, this really excites me. I am. Oh, you know what? I still had it. I didn't have to go look for it. Um. Okay, so I'm going to pin that to the top of the chat, and then we'll continue. Okay. Okay, there it is at the top of the chat. That is the link. And that is where you'll find all of those recipes. Okay, okay. Let's continue. Sold out. That's it. I have nothing else to say. Sold out. Gone. If you were hoping to find the black dress, it's sold out. You may have to go on a waiting list. Gone. Gone, gone, gone. Sold out. Next, they couldn't find anything wrong with the rose, so they said she had thorns. I love that. They couldn't find anything wrong with the rose, so they said she had thorns. Perfectly sums up British media and diehard monarchists who, after 9 years of relentless smear campaigns, still can't understand why their narrative isn't sticking. We love you, Meghan. Hugs. And then I have a soundbite for you. You all probably recognize her. What is her name? Narendra or something like that? She was the one who got in trouble for saying something about Miss Kitty. Okay.
Everybody's talking about it. And I love how with Love Meghan Sussex's new show on Netflix has backfired spectacularly on mainstream media and all the haters in Britain. It's backfired because they thought they'd do reviews, slagging it off, salating her, thinking the public were going to be behind that, saying, yeah, we agree. But what happened was the public watched it, stateside and in Britain, all of the world, and said, actually, she's a really lovely woman. She's charming. She's caring. She's the giver. We love how she's doing this cooking. She's obviously loyal to her friends. She's smart. She's got more charm in her left eyelash than that entire royal family, who obviously hated her, were jealous of her because she posed a threat, because she's just genuine. She's real. And we love her. Everyone is loving it. And I am here for it. I am here for the tide to turn for Meghan finally. She's shown the world, I'm okay. The mainstream media, stop listening to them. And I think the British media, TV and newspapers, online, whatever, you need to stop now, because you're beginning to make yourselves look really embarrassing and hateful people who've got nothing nice to say about a couple who take nothing from the taxpayers and just live in their own life happily. Leave them alone. Leave her alone. Do you know how hard it is for a non-white woman to show up without continually being berated and slated and these wild expectations? She's just living her best life, and honestly, good luck to her. Everybody's talking about it, and I love how.
Okay, there you go. She's living her best life. And they cannot take it. They simply cannot take it. They cannot handle the truth. They want the truth, but they can't handle the truth. So they decide to just tell one lie after the other. So yeah. Yep, Meghan is quite aware of the impact that this show is having, and it has been huge. It has been a huge impact. So the TIG has been reborn and has come back bigger and greater. It is called With Love Meghan. And there's a product line called As Ever. And combined, it's going to continue to be exactly what it is right now, a huge, huge success. Harry and Meghan have done so many things so well in spite of the continued hostility from the British tabloid media, the Left Behind royals, and the MAGA Brexit crowd. That's a lot to go up against. And in spite of that, They've done a lot of things extremely well. I cannot criticize the Sussexes because it is unprecedented what they're going through right now. What they are going through, even if they were just regular everyday celebrities, which they are not. But if they were just regular everyday celebrities, there would not be this level of scrutiny. In the 1980s and 90s, I witnessed the way that they had gone after Oprah. Oprah's been through a lot with the media. She's been through a lot. They have found family members, her brother and her sister. Both of them sold stories to the press. Both of them are deceased right now, by the way. But she had a brother and a sister that sold her out for, you know, so that they could feed their habits. And a lot of other family members have sold her out. So I've seen this before with Oprah. And all they could talk about was this black woman and her money. The black woman with that money. They cannot stand to see. There are certain elements of society that cannot stand to see a black woman living comfortably and being pampered and being treated like a queen. They cannot stand that. It's just one of those things that seem to cause a great deal of confusion, apathy, to see a black woman being treated so well, uplifting others, being spoken about day after day. Now, obviously, Oprah's core audience was older white women and black women. Matter of fact, not older white women, just women. But of course, black women in particular, because they could see themselves in her. They could see themselves, that representation of a black woman who's intelligent, who has been a very successful producer of her own show, traveling the world in a private jet, living on a huge estate in California. When Oprah saw that house, she went there for a party, a fundraiser, or something. And the couple that owned the house, the Bellows, Oprah was like, I got to have this house. How much? Now, the house at the time, I think, was worth, I don't know, about $20 million. They had just put a bunch of work into the house. And they said, it's not for sale, Oprah, such and such, so and so. And Oprah said, I'll give you $50 million. And they say, we'll be out the first of the month. Now, my whole life, I've never known any black woman that lives like that. And that is something to be inspired. And I don't love everything about Oprah. I have a lot of criticisms for Oprah. But it falls short because of what she represents. She's made a lot of mistakes. She's made a lot of enemies. But she's also gotten a lot of things right. But her biggest crime amongst most of the population, and this includes black people, is that she's a successful black woman. And that seems to rub a lot of people the wrong way. They could accept it from a Kim Kardashian. They could accept it from a whole lot of people, but it cannot be someone that looks like Oprah. It cannot be someone with Oprah's background. And I'm afraid the same thing applies to Meghan. All they could think about was Meghan and her mama. They getting over. They about to move into Frogmore Cottage. She's making room for her mother. Her mother's really going to move here. Like her mother couldn't think of any place else in the world to go than to live in the Frogmore Cottage on the Windsor estate, downhill from a cemetery, downhill from a mausoleum. Yeah, just around the corner from a mausoleum and a cemetery. She's been waiting her whole life. Doria, what a clever one she is. I thought she was satisfied just being a well-educated social worker, but no. What she's really been scheming about is getting into that British royal family and moving to the Great Windsor estate and living downhill from a mausoleum and a cemetery, a royal burial ground. That is what she was aspiring to. I'm glad they found it out before she actually got there. I guess she's not as clever as we thought, huh? I mean, they have said some terrible things about Doria. None of it can be substantiated. None of it is true. But they look at the hair, the nose ring, the complexion, and it's just it's more than they can take. But you know who they're okay with? It's okay for this one to scheme and conspire to take her daughter out of one school and put her into another, to raise a household of children to not work or thrive for themselves, but just to marry rich. Yeah, just marry a man with some money. This one is the one everybody seems to make way for, and treat her with such dignity and respect. Not the mother who um, went back to school and got her master's degree. Not the mother who's run a marathon, a mother who's always done service in the community. No, she's someone that you should be suspicious of, not the air hostess. Make that make sense. And so there's Meghan clipping flowers, setting tables, enjoying her life after keeping a low profile for about what, 2-3 years. And then finally she emerges. They go and do some tours here and there, and she's working on the foundation that they created. She's working on the production company that they created and raising 2 children. And all they could think of is that somehow she has beat the system. Getting a double major in university, one of the best universities in the country, that don't mean anything. All she was looking for was a man, right? That's all she wanted, was a man. The fact that she spent time building a career for herself, that she was self-sufficient, that she come into the royal family with more money in her bank account than any of those other ones, that means nothing. Oh, she's another Wallace Simpson. Is she really? Because Wallace Simpson couldn't do anything without a man. Wallace Simpson's whole role in life was to marry rich, right? That doesn't sound like Meghan. That sounds like somebody else. That's more this person, not Meghan. Meghan didn't go and get a vanity degree in art and then go to an art museum and look at a Fabergé egg and couldn't figure it out, asking dumb questions about the Fabergé egg. And here I am, barely with a sixth grade education. I know who Fabergé is. I know the story of Fabergé. I'm not the one who was pulled out of one school and went to the other just to get a vanity degree in art. We have really been tested. We have really been tested this week. And it does feel like a test. It feels like some type of trial, a witch hunt. And they have pulled out every stop. I mean, they have gone to, matter of fact, I wasn't even going to mention this, but let me just show it to you because I thought that I might share it with you at some point. So I'm just going to show you now. And I've been saying this all week. I said they have left no stone unturned. It's all hands on deck. All hands on deck. This Dr. Pemberton, whatever, Dr. Max Pemberton, her TV show is full of shallow, toxic positivity? What the hell is toxic positivity? Here's why I believe Meghan is sending damaging messages to my. Where is this man at when this idiot told people to drink lots of water and go out and play in the sun so that they can get over their cancer? Where was he at when this person was doing that kind of damage? Where was he at when this idiot went walking through a field of grains, jumping over sand dunes, hopping up on bales of hay, and leaping logs? Where was he at when that happened? Where was he at when this idiot and her father-in-law, who is equally an idiot, went wading into crowds of people after being treated for cancer? No gloves, no face mask, none of that stuff. And then goes to a children's hospital, bringing a camera crew and such with her courtiers and such, to be around children that are also likely suffering from a compromised immunity. Where was he at when that happened? Where was he at when this idiot was looking so gaunt? Didn't he have any cautionary tales for that? Where was he at when they wrote an article saying that mere mortals would not have had a pampered lifestyle, a staff of 62? Those mere mortals actually showed up for Wimbledon and for the Trooping the Colors. Where was he at? Where was that advice when all of that stuff was happening? I wish I knew. But instead, someone who is supposed to be a doctor, someone who is so insecure about whether or not people will seriously take him as a doctor, he uses his stethoscope for his profile picture. That's about the only way you can convince people that that's a real doctor. Yes, you've guessed it. Like most of the country, we're obsessed with Netflix's new Meghan Markle show. Whoops, my mistake. Meghan Sussex. That's a doctor? That's a doctor. Now, I didn't even read the article, you guys. Full disclosure, I didn't read the article. I don't really care what's in the article. It was the fact that Dr. Max Pemberton has been called upon by the Daily Mail so that he could take a stab at it. It wasn't enough that everybody else on staff have had their turn. They go and get the doctor. It is the level of desperation that is breathtaking to me. It is the level of desperation to try and convince people that this and what's crazy about it is they stand to make more money if With Love Meghan is a success, because then that will ensure that she's more visible and there's more things for them to make up. That just goes to show you that this is race. This is racism. And when people say, how do you know it's racism? Because they are willing to take a chance on losing money to tear down a woman of color than to just lay low and, do a little less of what they're doing. And you will have her appearing in public more often. You will have her on television. You have so many more things to criticize if you ease up on her than if you and listen, I'm not telling them anything that they don't know. I'm not telling them anything that they don't know. But such is the hatred and hostility, the racism, that they would rather take a chance on losing potential earnings than to just leave her alone for 5 minutes. And I have just cited to you several things that needed to be exposed and discussed, including the fact that every time the royal family went out, I promise you, I could count several times when members of that family during the height of the global pandemic went to a lot of places without a mask on, encouraging groups of people to gather without a mask on. Where was this guy at when Kate went to the Sarah Everhart memorial, or should I say the shrine that they created? Where was he at when Kate Middleton snubbed the law, violated the law to go to a gathering, and she was the only person there without a mask on? She was the only adult that was not wearing a mask. Where was he at then? Because if she was sick, there was the potential of it being a super spreader event, right? We don't know. He could have been advising people like Charles III. Well, at the time he was Prince Charles. Your Royal Highness, maybe that wasn't a good idea for you and your wife to go and visit the Queen, knowing that we're in the height of a global pandemic. Your mother's in her 90s. Where was he at when the Queen got sick? And the last two people she spent time with was Charles and Camilla. And what did they do? They blamed the staff at the palace that had been living in a bubble to prevent the Queen from getting sick. Where was he at? Where was his concern for that? Instead, this man is taking something totally made up, toxic positivity. Toxic positivity. Meghan's show is so positive that she's liable to hurt someone. uh, we could just go on, you guys. I mean, feel free to jump in there. Can you think of some place where his advice should have been directed? Like, for instance, let's think about Kate Middleton. Kate Middleton obviously has suffered more than just a physical break, a mental break. There's nothing healthy about that institution, and he knows it. If you're worried about toxic positivity from a lifestyle show What do you say of the way those children are put through that institution? Has he spoken out at all about what Harry has written in his book? And does he worry about what that means for little George or Charlotte or Louis? Where was he at when Lorraine, what's her name, Lorraine Kelly? Where was he at when Lorraine Kelly referred to Louis, Prince Louis, as a clown? Was he not worried about Louis being referred to as a clown? Or the fact that the media, oh, I can't wait for Louis. Oh, Louis is going to do something. They're going to destroy that child with this anticipation that he will be the clown and the court jester. And no matter what I feel about the parents, those kids are children. And Louis and this expectation of him being the buffoon, I don't agree with that. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. So where was Dr. Pemberton when all of this was going on? I wish I knew. But instead, he is warning people about the dire effects of toxic positivity. Okay. Okay. Queen Elizabeth walks out with her coat open on a rainy day while suffering from cancer. Not a problem. Not a problem. Where was the doctor when Sophie was treating old ladies like speed bumps or inconveniences? Good Lord. Uh-huh. Sussex Team Warrior. Thank you for that. Thank you. I at this point, I mean, I didn't think I was alone, but now I know I'm not alone. Thank you for that. uh, you see why I wasn't sure I was going to share that, but I wanted to save it. Sometimes I save stuff because I may need it. And that one for sure, I thought that there would be a place for it. I didn't know I would use it today, but I knew there was a place for it. I knew I would be making a point and that it would fit perfectly. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, on the bright side, Commonwealth Day protest 2025 polls show support for abolishing the monarchy is higher than ever. The people of the Commonwealth want to see the back of the royals too. Join us at Westminster Abbey, where the royals will be making an appearance for the Commonwealth Day service. That's tomorrow. Gives me something to look forward to. So down with the crown, down with the crown. And with that, you guys, I'm done. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, as always, for watching Royal Sussex. And thank you for not having another time change tonight. I don't think I could take it. I was really caught off guard yesterday when I saw the time had changed. I was like, what the what? Yeah, I was really caught off guard yesterday. I couldn't believe it. Daylight savings time? What in the world? So yeah, there we go. Good night, Vanzola Adams. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, I'm happy, you guys. I am very, very happy. The way that people have responded to the with love Meghan has really warmed my heart. It reassures me. It gives me faith in humanity that in spite of everything that these people have tried to destroy our Duchess, it just didn't work. It did not work. They failed. Good night, Ivy. Thank you so much for joining us. I think all the beautiful things Meghan creates, her friendship and her beautiful environment shows Meghan is thriving, not cowering from all of the British media. Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. She just keeps on moving. She keeps on keeping on. As the lady said in the article the other day, let me see here if I can find that one. Is that she loves the way that Meghan just is unstoppable. That was what she said, that Meghan was unstoppable. And it is a lesson. It really is a lesson that anyone could draw upon. And that everything is done with intention, right? Um, Instead of panicking and rushing into things. I was really hurt some years ago. A friend of mine that passed away during the pandemic. Um, I'm literally sitting up here thinking about how bad the press was treating Meghan. And listen, you all, he was trying to be helpful. He didn't know. He didn't know. A lot of people do not realize that they're being fed a bunch of lies day after day. And because of their own prejudice that they may have or bias, they're willing to believe the worst because of, the way their minds are conditioned or whatever. I don't know. I can't really speak to why that happens, but I have my opinions and theories, of course. But he said that she needs to um, lay low for a little while, that she's overexposed. And I said, overexposed? I said, do you understand that sometimes we don't see or hear from Meghan publicly for months at a time? It is not her fault that they think of things to say about her all day, every day, that they speculate about what she's thinking and what she's feeling and what she's doing. Um, that's not her fault. But from where he was looking, he's seeing all of these articles. How do you explain to a person? How do you tell a person? How do you make them see what we see? If Meghan makes a move, we know about it. But to the rest of the world, Meghan is jumping in front of cameras. Well, not the rest of the world, but you know what I mean. This is what they try to convince the world, that Meghan is jumping in front of the cameras, pushing people out the way. Everything is me, me, me. That is what they have tried to convince the world. And if you say something often enough, there is always going to be a certain sector of the population that will believe you. So he doesn't know. He just sees all of these things popping up on his phone every day. Meghan said this, Meghan did that, Meghan wants this, Meghan wants that. You have to consider the fact that people just don't know the difference. And so obviously that, you know, got me up in my feelings, and I had to try to explain that we have not seen Meghan for 2 months. And when she does come out and make an appearance, we may not see her for another 2 months. And that's the way it was throughout the entire pandemic. And a lot of people just don't know that. Because you have these people with a British accent on these podcasts and television and such, telling you a whole imagined version of what Meghan is up to. But the people that I feel the best about, that I feel a real, connection to, are the non-squatties who go into the comments and they will say, "Slow news day, huh? Oh, you found something new to blame Meghan for." So there are people that are not supporters. They're not, they don't care one way or the other, but they can see the nonsense and they'll call them out for it. uh, yeah, he does look like he's got a bug up his rear, right? Looks like he shops at the same place William shops, because they both have that rather pensive, I hope it doesn't slip out while I'm in the supermarket look. Uh yeah, he looks like he's into the same stuff that William is into. They don't want to see a black woman shine when she's an inspiration and a positive role model. Just look at what they are saying about Jasmine Crockett. They can't handle phenomenal black women. Yeah, they can't really go for the or they can't take away the substance of her comments. So they rather attack the way that she speaks, because she speaks like someone from her neighborhood. She's not code switching or putting on airs and graces and such. Um, they'd rather attack the way she speaks, or they'll attack her for what she wears and such. Um, it doesn't matter whether or not you approve of the way she speaks or the way she looks. What matters is that she's right, that she has waged a stronger argument, and that she knows her value and her worth. That's what matters. One of the things that made me very proud was when Oprah Winfrey went to Australia, a place that is known by a lot of people as not being the friendliest place for people of color, especially the indigenous population, the First Nation people. They can tell you this is not the most friendly place for people that look like me or look like you. And yet, because of Oprah's talent, because of Oprah's inspirational life, they treated her almost like she was the queen of it. As a matter of fact, I remember someone commented, they said, they don't do this much when the queen comes to town. They don't make this big a fuss for the queen. They literally illuminated the Harbor Bridge with a big letter O for Oprah's visit, fireworks and such. A Black woman from Mississippi, Milwaukee, Tennessee, and every other place she lived, they had this huge celebration for Oprah, a talk show host. Now, whether you like Oprah or whether you don't, that is not the point. See, some people are so caught up in their feelings about what they don't like about a person. As far as I'm concerned, I will have my opinions about Oprah, but this Black woman was given a bigger reception than the Queen of England. That's an accomplishment. Oprah riding in the car with her best friend Gail, and Gail's looking around. Oh, it's a marching band. Oh, look at those people. I wonder who's in town. And Oprah had to tell her, me, fool. They had went to some town, and the excitement surrounding her arrival was so huge that the people in town started putting together a reception committee, a marching band, letting the kids out of school because Oprah's coming to town. I never thought I'd see something like that in my lifetime. Representation matters. At the end of the day, I'm going forward in things. Yes, I do. Please just as unbothered like our Princess Meghan. And that makes them going nuts. Yeah. Lisette, thank you very much for that. And of course, the super chat. I think we should go forward in things. Yeah, I think we should. This has been quite a week. It really has. This has been quite a week. I don't know what I expected when they announced the show was coming, but in both good, actually, I'm trying to see what exceeded my expectations, the good or the bad or both. I'm going to say both, although I predicted that they were going to, call out the hit squad to go after her. I kind of pictured that was going to happen, meaning all of the reporters, all of the columnists and personalities that they would show up in force to try to sabotage things. That's the one that I was counting on. I just knew that was going to happen.
Well, obviously it'd be, I would love to have met her, and she's obviously, she's an inspirational woman to look up to, obviously to this day, and, going forward and things, it is, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and, very inspirational. So, yeah, I do.
uh, and yet, according to at least one of those royal reporters, Meghan is the one who uses word salad, right? During election time, Kamala was the one using word salad. And in both cases, on the other end of the spectrum, you got the Orange Menace who speaks the way he speaks, right? And in this instance, you have this bright individual on the other end of it. And yet, it's the highly educated women of color who have accomplished and, as Kate would say, achieved a lot. They're the ones who don't know how to talk. And then when people say, how is that racist? You figure it out. You figure it out. The first and only Black president puts on a tan suit, just like Ronald Reagan, just like Lyndon Johnson and other presidents. But when it became disrespectful and vulgar, was the man with the brown skin in a tan suit, not the others. You could have the Queen of England bearing her shoulders, Queen Elizabeth, Princess Diana, even Princess Anne bearing her shoulders, wearing something off the shoulder. But it did not become vulgar until Meghan wore it. And then it was breaching the protocol. It was disrespectful. And I'm only saying this just on the odd chance that there's someone who's listening who just can never seem to figure out when something is racist and when it's not. If that's not a good explanation for you, I don't know what is. Things that have always been suddenly become disrespectful, breaching protocol. And it never happened until the Black person did it. That's when you know something is racist. That's a good example. Whether you believe it or not is not my concern. But I'm going to call it out and I'm going to say it is what it is. If you notice, a lot of content creators, they say the R word. I don't say the R word. I say exactly what it is, racist. And if that costs me money, it costs me money, but I'm going to call it what it is. Yep. It is what it is. Let the chips fall where they may. Okay. Before we get into 3 hours, I'm really fixing to go. But thank you again, everyone. And of course, thank you to the moderators for keeping this a safe space that it is. And please make sure you all go and check out the Lady Sussex. I'm going to put that link up again before I go. Very interesting topic today about explanations, especially the idea that Meghan needs to explain herself. I thought it was outstanding topic to discuss. So let me see here. There's that. And Okay, there we go. And I'm going to pin it. All right, so go ahead and push that link, save it to your YouTube so you can watch it this week. It'll be very interesting if you have a task or some errand to run or something like that. That'll give you a good chance to listen to it. Also, don't forget that Celibici was on this week. Kaiser and what's her name? They were on Saturday, so you could also check out Celibici. And of course, all of the Sussex friendly spaces. Let me see here. Thank you, Cookies and Cream. Good night, Team Sussex Warrior. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, that's a real shame. You know, um, as an African American, I was very proud of the fact that there was an anti apartheid movement here in the United States. And it involved more than just Black people, but a lot of white people. And the same with Ireland. There was a huge anti apartheid movement in Ireland. And of course, when you consider everything that had happened before, and the fact that, you know, South Africa is a unified country. Like any country, they have their own set of problems and such. But when I look at people from South Africa, Black and white, I see so much pride. I see people embrace the flag and such. And I hate the fact that there is an American president and his flunkies that are literally trying to tear the country apart. They really are trying to tear the country apart. And they're using the white people of South Africa as a tool, as a weapon to help destroy the country. That's what I see. And they're going to try to divide people in Canada. They're going to try to find all of the super conservative people and create some type of hostility within Canada. I mean, it is the stuff of nightmares, and I'm so disturbed by what I'm seeing. But all I can say is we have to stand firm, don't panic, and keep speaking truth to power. That's the only thing we have to do. That's the only thing we can do. It's the only thing that doesn't cost any money is to keep speaking truth to power, try to educate friends and family. I don't recommend getting into an argument every 5 minutes, but just explain some media literacy and such. Because a lot of people just don't know the difference. They don't know that they're being manipulated by the algorithm and by the mass media. They don't know the difference. Yeah, I see that pride. I see that pride. I see the way so many people have rallied around the flag, and I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's a beautiful thing, and there's always going to be these outside forces that are chasing minerals and, you know, natural resources and such. but hopefully they don't, or we don't, should I say, we don't let these bullies, these oligarchs, hopefully we don't let them win. Just have to keep calling them out. Really just have to keep calling them out. Buongiorno, Robert Collins. Thank you so much for joining us. All the way from Rome. Wow. Okay. Well, we'll let that be it then. And I will see you all. Oh, thank you very much. Cookies and Cream says, make sure you go to IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes and give a positive rating for Meghan. It is very important. Also, it's important, anything that is positive for Meghan, keep hitting that like button. Keep showing your approval. You're not only showing your feelings to the whatever website, or you're also feeding the algorithm. And even if you hate the algorithm, it is a thing, it is real, and one of the ways to combat it is to hit that like button. Hit that like button as often as possible. That is one way to combat a lot of the negativity, is to hit that like button. So apropos of that, please make sure you hit the like button. Okay. Ciao for now. And I will see y'all next time.